Hey guys, welcome to my little rant about Watch Dogs. It's summertime, so that means there's not much going on in the gaming community. We're right before E3, so I know there are a couple interesting titles coming out this summer. Uh, if you'll excuse me, I actually caught myself another little cold. Don't know how, so I might be coughing or sneezing or wiping up my snot. Excuse me. Uh, so, moving on, let's jump right into. Son of a bitch, I missed the bucket. Uh, jump right into the game. So, gameplay. Uh, I've spent probably about 20 to 30 hours playing this game, and I'm not bored with it. I'm still very interested in the world. I'm still very compelled to play the missions, despite the fact that the missions are, well, realistically speaking, kind of redundant. But there's enough variance in them that I'm still interested. Uh, as one thing I was really concerned about this game is it would take after Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft's first game in the Assassin series, where they tried for some really ambitious things, but in the end, it just kind of fell flat due to redundancy. And this is almost the same way, and I'm sure others will actually probably just tear it apart for the redundancy. To me, I think it's varied enough that I'm still interested. I will say I do have a little bit of bias because the game takes place in Chicago, or at least their version of Chicago, and I'll rant about that at the end. Uh, but I'm still compelled to play the game. Uh, Gunplay is fine. Uh, Combat, generally want to avoid it if you can, despite the fact that they give you a ton of guns to play with. Uh, you die fairly quickly, actually, and that's before upgrading and leveling up different abilities. Uh, the car play, that's driving in the game. I will say it's a bit arcadey. Um, it takes some time getting used to, and even once you do get used to it, it feels a little clunky at times. And the controls in general, I'm playing on a PS3, and it just feels at times, at least it took me probably after the first 5 hours of playing the game to really get a grasp on the controls. Um, Everything just seems kind of funny because you got a button that uh, takes out a gun and then puts the gun away at the same time, but it's also the same button that you hold down for your wheel to select your gadgets and your weapons, and then the L2 button is actually the aim button. And so you'll accidentally maybe press that and you whip your gun out, all of a sudden everybody's panicking everywhere, uh, calling the cops. And so I'm used to the controls now, but when I first started playing, definitely had a lot of issues. Definitely when sneaking up to a potential crime, quote unquote, where you can stop the crime in progress, I would more often than not spook the criminal, and I would lose out on the event. And the crime was prevented, so to speak, but the criminal also got away. Uh, Speaking of cops in the game, uh, people depending on what you do. So if you pull out a gun, random pedestrians will call the cops. If you steal a car, random pedestrians will call a cop. If the pedestrians don't like you, they are going to call a cop. So you have this, and then once you get into chase with the cops, I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of a pain in the ass to lose. Uh, Before you really start to understand how the game works, and also before you get the exploding sewer pipe uh, upgrade, because that just makes everything so much easier. Um, they generally are a pain to get away from. Not at first, or not at first. You can easily lose them, but then what they'll do is if you don't get out of the area in a lot of time, they'll start searching through you through the network, and then you gotta lose them all over again. Usually, if they find you again, then more cops are coming after you. So it's it becomes very difficult to escape them. And that's offline mode. Online mode, uh, where they incorporate a system similar to Dark Souls, where you're playing alone together. You're playing by yourself, but at any point in time, somebody can just pop into your game and mess around with you. I mean, there's different types of games that you can do, but the one I've had the most experience with thus far because I've been invaded about 3 times playing so far, and a random player will just jump in. It'll be like you're being invaded, and now you have to find this player before uh, he steals all the information off you. It's a fun little game. It's fun to interact with other people. Um, PlayStation Network doesn't exactly isn't exactly the most friendly for socializing. I find it a lot harder to use uh, some of the tools on the PlayStation. I do Xbox Live, but I also spend a lot less time on PlayStation, generally speaking. Not saying that I don't want to get this into a console or anything. I love both systems, uh, but that's just me. Uh, Other than that, also I had a chance to play the online app companion where you challenge somebody, chase them around in a helicopter. It's fun. I've yet to successfully stop anybody, uh, but it's something fun to play while you're on the toilet. Story wise, I don't want to really give away any spoilers. In fact, actually, to be honest, I can't give away too many spoilers because I'm not that far into the game. Like I said, 20, 30 hours into the game, and I spent most of the time playing side missions, where I actually haven't really. I think I just got into the second act a couple days ago, and the second act's pretty long. It looks like, but I mean overall, it seems pretty standard fare. I'm interested, but at the same time, it seems pretty standard fare. You know, a vigilante who's sort of a criminal slash vigilante type anti-hero wants to protect his family, and the criminals know who his family is, so naturally they're going to go after his family. So it's kind of like one of those scenarios where it's kind of predictable. Uh, I'm waiting for like I said, I haven't finished it, but thus far it's enough to keep me interested. Uh, Big issue is graphics. I know there's the whole bait and switch thing because we've seen this happen before with like aliens, colonial marines, where before the game release they showed these amazing shots, all these aliens, and generally speaking, actually a very good looking game. And then what we get is some horrifying mess of a game that's pretty much unplayable. The good news is I believe this game, in my opinion, is very much playable. In terms of how it looks, I still think it looks decent. It looks pretty good. I mean, it was supposed to be the first like next gen game or however they were selling it. Playing it on the current consoles, PS3, I think it's a fine looking current gen game. I because this is a really touchy issue, and there's a lot of people who crying wolf over the whole thing, but I I think it looks fine. I think it plays fine. I'm having fun with it. I like it. Is it worth the $60 I paid for it? I'll say this, considering I've spent 20 to 30 hours just kind of like dicking around and doing not much of anything else, and not actually touching the story very much, which I do want to finish. I think I'm getting my money's worth out of it. That being said, I do want to finish it. I do like it. I also have a ton of other games in my backlog that I have to get through. Um, as for Chicago itself, I give the at least you tried award to Ubisoft. I'm gonna put up a map here of Ubisoft and the actual Chicago, or Ubisoft Chicago and the actual Chicago, and yeah, there's no islands. There's no giant river essentially making the loop an island. There's a couple rivers in the area, but none so large. Also, there are no mountains. Chicago is flat for miles around. Uh, like I said, it was a good try, but ultimately, it's just it's. There'll be times where like, hey, I sort of know this area, and then it's like, oh nope, never mind. None of it is here. And I'm sure there's an answer for why they didn't include like Picasso or the proper bean, where the bean actually has an inside and not just like a Mobius strip. In addition, the thing that bugged me just personally, two things. One, the place in which I am on call is on the wrong side of the street. I actually work someplace downtown every so often, and it's on the wrong side of the street in the game. In addition, the sports stadiums. They essentially took Wrigley Field and Soldiers Field and mushed them up into one building, where the front of it looks like Wrigley or Soldiers Field, the back of it looks like Wrigley's Field, and it's a baseball stadium. You can actually start the game there. But other than that, like I said, it's a solid game. I liked it. I would get if I graded it, if I was forced to give it a grade, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10, and that's good. Like, 10 out of 10 is like perfect. 9 out of 10 is holy crap. This game is really good. Has a couple flaws. This game has a few flaws, and it's solid. It's good. I enjoyed it. If you want to wait until it's in the bargain bin to pick it up, be my guest. I wouldn't blame you. But I give it my stamp of approval. I mean, like I said, it's kept me busy for hours. So go ahead. If you like this video, I'm trying to make more videos, do more. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what I can improve. Tell me what you want to hear from me in general. Do you want me to be a little more funny, a little more off the wall? I would be a little more hyperactive, a little weird. Only problem is I got this cold and my brain hurts. So, by all means, I'm going to try and share these videos more often. Just trying to, because school's winding down. I got a huge movie project I have to work on, and as soon as school's over, I need a job. So these kind of build my personality, build my portfolio. So I'm just gonna leave that as is. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I didn't keep you too long. Peace out.